friends, this is Alejandra from the Westland Public Library. Today we're going to be doing some leaf painting. So I know that fall technically hasn't started and it's still September, but at least where I live, the leaves are already changing color, they're starting to fall. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to think about what you might want to do in terms of fall crafting and fall activities and spending some time outside, because I did have to go outside to find the leaves. And it's really fun to just go out there and start to look for what you would think is the perfect leaf for your painting. So I have, I think 6 leaves is what I picked out. So I've got different sizes, different colors, different shapes. It's entirely up to you how many you want to grab or not. These were actually wet, so I had to make sure that I dry them with some paper towels, and these are actually also the paper towels that I will be using while I'm painting, just to clean up any random little things. So you'll need a paintbrush, obviously, if you're painting. A paint palette is not necessary, but definitely helps, and it's just a lot of fun to use. I'm also going to be using some washi tape. This is just a random little strip of tape that I found, and that is because I need something that's strong enough to keep the leaf on the paper while I'm painting. But I actually have 2 paintings that I would like to do today. So I need to make sure that whatever I pick isn't going to hurt the leaves. Otherwise I'll just have to go back outside and find some more, which is not a problem. But I just want to make sure that I try to keep them as intact as possible, and that I also don't ruin my painting when I'm taking the leaves off. So what you need is just a blank piece of paper, as big or as small as you'd like to make it. I actually also have some cardstock just to make it a little sturdier, and it happens to be just like fall themed scrapbooking paper. So I have 2 of these. I just taped them on there with some double-sided tape. You definitely don't have to do that step. You could do it with construction paper. You don't have to do it at all. It's entirely up to you. I just like that it makes it a little sturdier, because this is just regular printer paper and it is a little thinner. And because of the size of the paper that I was using, I do have some left over. So these would actually be like really cute fall bookmarks, or just to use them kind of like this so that you don't get paint on the border right here. It's completely up to you. And then of course your paint. I'm going to be using acrylic paint today. It's just what I prefer to use, but you can use watercolors, you can use whatever you'd like. You don't have to use paint. You could use colored pencils, crayons, markers, paint pens. You could use oil pastels, whatever is your favorite thing to use. I love using acrylic. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to go ahead and tape my leaves onto my paper. Like I said, just however you want them there, whatever you want to do, depending on whether or not you're doing this with little ones or by yourself, or how many paintings you're planning on making. You may need more or less leaves, bigger or smaller as well. It's entirely up to you. Like I said, I grabbed 6, and I think that should be enough for both of my paintings. But if I was doing this with little ones, because some of the leaves can get a little more fragile, like this little guy over here. This other one also has a tear in it, so you might want to grab more than you think you'll need, just in case some of them get ripped throughout the process, which is fine. So I would say maybe grab some more depending on, who you're working with. So let's get started, guys. Okay, friends, so I washi taped my leaves onto my paper. As you can see, you want to make sure that it sticks on here just enough so that they won't fall or move around a ton when you're painting with your brush. And of course you're going to want to hold them down with your fingers as well, just because there are little parts that the washi tape couldn't get. And I've got my paint palette full of some paint. Like I said, I want to try and stick to warm colors and cool colors. I think that'll just look really nice once they're done. So this is my cool color palette. I've got purple, blue, and green. I also have some white in there just in case I want to lighten some parts. I'm not going to be very picky about where the colors go. I'm just going to go with the flow and see what feels right, what I want to do. I think it'll be a lot of fun to just have a completely unstructured art project to do, other than, painting around the leaves. The idea is that you paint around the leaves and then once you take the leaves off, then you'll see the shape of the leaf around the painting, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited to do that. So let's get started. Okay friends, so it's a slightly different angle. Just wanted you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. So let's just get started. This brush is not wet, but the paper towels are just a little damp. And I think that'll be just fine for us. So I think I want to get started with this green. I feel like that green is calling my name. And you're going to want to just start to paint around, just like that, just slowly. Again, nothing super strong. Be careful not to get the border if you decided to go with that as well. You might get some paint on you. That's okay. Acrylic washes off pretty well. Just be careful not to get it on your clothes if you are using acrylic. That is a little harder to wipe off, in my experience at least, especially with like darker colors on lighter clothes or like white on black clothes. Definitely just a little harder. So I'm just gonna keep doing that around, and of course you can mix the colors. I just feel like starting off with this and seeing how I feel and where to go from here. So just be sure to be a little careful, especially if your colors overlap like this. And be sure not to be too rough on the leaves, depending on whether or not they're older, crunchier, wet, things like that. They may be just a little more delicate. So you want to make sure that whatever you do doesn't harm the leaf too much. So I think we're going to go with this purple now up here. And as you can see, I'm not really cleaning my brush in between colors. I'm just going with whatever I want to do. I know it's not super mixed in yet, but I think once the colors start blending together, it'll look really cool. And then of course you can add accents. As you can see, this purple blended a little bit with the blue over here. So I think for the next one, I'm gonna keep trying to keep that around. Let's see, I'll mix a little bit of the green with the blue and see what happens over here. And don't forget that we also have our digital branch available if you wanted to find any e-resources on either nature crafts or what kind of leaves you might have around you. For example, I know that this leaf is a Japanese maple tree because that is what we have outside, and it's just interesting to read more about the types of trees and the types of leaves that they have. So that is always an option for you as well if you're interested in that. Hoopla should have some, and we should have some more available on the digital branch, and we can always help you find more resources if you need them. Might take a little bit of white just around the edges right there. As you can see, I'm not being super careful about where it goes. I just think it looks interesting with the random splotches of darker colors. So I'm just gonna keep finishing that, working on this. I think I like throwing the white in where the colors meet, just to help them blend a little bit better. Go over that leaf again. Maybe throw a little bit more green over here. So I'm going to keep painting, and I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well. Like I said, just be very careful once you remove the leaves to make sure that you're not ripping them if you do need to use them again. And I will show you guys what it looks like when this and the other painting are both done. Okay friends, we're done. I have taken the leaves off both paintings. You can kind of see in the paintings where one of the leaves had a tear in it. That's perfectly fine with me. So this is how one of them turned out. And this is, trying to move these around, this is the other one. It was very fun to do. They are actually very sturdy to use twice. As you can see, you can very much see the shape of the leaves once you started painting them. So I'm just gonna let these dry for a little bit more and then we can hang them up somewhere. But I hope you guys enjoyed doing this with us. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to check back and check our calendar to see what other fun activities we have planned for you over the next few weeks. Thank you. Bye.